Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Shield, and this is Finding the Guardian of Your Soul. The guardian of your soul is a man who sees more of you than you see of yourself. He sees your soul's journey and he supports your soul's journey through your life. And you do the same for him. This is an extraordinary kind of relationship, unlike many, many, many other relationships we see. And it is the kind of relationship I've had with my husband, Benjamin, for over 20 years. And it's the relationship that many of our clients have found. And I want to invite you into this beautiful world, this beautiful discussion about guardian of your soul relationships. And so, with that being said, today I want to talk about becoming a soft place to land so a man feels safe sharing his heart with you. Many women feel that men are emotionally unavailable, that they are avoidant and commitment phobic, and that they just can't open up. And while that is true, that there are many, many, many men who are like that, and many women as well, there are men who are longing to open up with the right woman and who have tried and failed in the past. Maybe they shared their heart and the woman just didn't get it. Maybe they shared their truth and she got angry and blaming and pushed him away or judged him in return. Maybe she got upset because she didn't like what she heard. This is something that we've all been through. And I really want to underscore that everything I'm sharing right now, this could be said of women as much as men, although women are the ones who create that safe emotional space. We're the ones who really are the sex that is most in touch with our emotional selves. And that is our gift to men, to give them the space and the encouragement and the ability to open their hearts and share their emotions. If you think about it, two men sitting down and talking are not going to have a deeply emotional conversation. And even if something does get slightly emotional, they will touch on it for the briefest of moments before they, jump out of the fire and onto other things. So a man who knows that his friend is struggling with his wife, he may say to his friend, "How's it going with Susan?" And his friend may say, "It's really rough." And the other guy will say, "Wow, man, I'm sorry to hear that." And that would be about the extent of that conversation. His friend wouldn't say, "Well, dude, you want to tell me what's going on? Or do you want to talk about it?" Most of the time, guys don't want to talk about those kinds of things, or they don't know how to talk about them with each other, because when a man is going through something emotional, he doesn't feel terribly masculine and powerful and strong. And one of the things with men is that they want to keep up that appearance with each other. They want to come across as strong and capable and masculine, and they don't want to look weak in front of other men. So they bury their feelings. They, shrug them off, and they just play it off like they're cool and everything's fine and all, but they don't want to have deep emotional discussions with other men. And the fact that they don't want to open up with each other at that level also means that most men, many men, just don't know how, especially very masculine men. They come to women for that. They want to find a woman who is a soft place to land. And what that means is that you create a space of safety and trust and loving kindness and compassion, where a man feels safe enough to share his heart with you, where he knows that if you ask a question and he gives you an honest answer, you are not going to blow up. You're not going to get angry or upset or blindside him. It's like so many men have been set up that way by women. A woman will ask a question and they will open up and they will answer it. And then she doesn't like the answer she hears and she just loses it. And so they get conditioned not to tell us the full story or the truth because they're afraid of how we are going to receive it. I have a client who was dating, and she was dating a man. She's now in a committed relationship with him. He's a great guy, but he asked her if she was dating, or she asked him if he was dating other women in the beginning when they first met. And he said, I am. And she said, oh, great. That's really cool. Thank you for telling me. And he was shocked. And he said, oh my God, that's so cool. And she said, what do you mean? And he said, well, it's just so cool that I can tell you something like that and you didn't get upset about it. And she said, well, I would want you to be dating other women right now because I'm dating other men and we're just getting to know each other. We haven't been going out very long. And he said, yeah, most women would have gotten upset when they heard that. And what was so beautiful about how she handled that moment was that she showed him that she is a soft place to land, that he can be honest with her and say something that he may say to other women and they would get very upset with him, and that he could tell her things honestly and openly and that she would handle them well. This is such a huge thing for men. And they, believe me, in the very beginning stages of a relationship, they are listening to how you handle those kinds of situations. Do you get edgy? Do you pull away? Do you get passive aggressive? Do you start to become anxious when they tell you the truth about something or say something that you may not want to hear? A lot of times men will bury things also because they're trying to protect us. For example, if a man is struggling with his work, he may be hesitant to open up about what's going on for a number of reasons. A woman is basing her attraction on the fact that he has a good job and a solid career. And if he starts to say, well, I'm thinking about changing jobs, I'm just not happy here, I don't like my boss, and he starts confiding in her and letting her know that things aren't going so well, it may trigger her fear, and she may start to worry that he's not a good match for her because he doesn't have a stable career or a stable job. And so a lot of times men will not open up to us because they're afraid also that they won't look masculine. If things aren't going well at work, then we may perceive them as not being masculine. So there's a lot of ways that you need to create that safe space. And the truth is, every time you hear the kinds of things that may be things that are hard to hear, it is so important that you stay grounded, you take a deep breath, you don't make assumptions, you don't have kind of a trigger, your finger on the trigger and get upset quickly, but that you're able to stay calm and present and really just open up that space. Would you like to tell me more about that? Would you like to tell me more about that? I would love to hear more. I'm totally open to just sitting and listening. And before you start to give feedback, you would want to say, there's a few things that I would love to share that came up for me. Are you open to hearing my feedback, or would you just like for me to sit and listen while you talk? So do not try to fix his problem for him. That is emasculating. If a man is sharing his heart, you do not want to then start giving suggestions and telling him how you can fix his problem. You want to let him know that you believe in him, that you see who he is, that you know how capable he is. Those kinds of responses are what will really build his confidence in you and make him want to open up even more. So the other night, my husband came and shared something with me. We were sitting and working on my last webinar together, and he came and he shared something with me. And he said very, very clearly, he said, I want to share this with you, but I don't want to talk about it. And I honored his request. I didn't say a word. I just sat back and I said, thank you for telling me what's going on. I so appreciate that. And I was grateful that he filled me in, and I left it at that. And I figured if he wanted to talk about it more, then he would let me know. And if he didn't, that was okay too. So I had to honor his request and let him know that he was very safe with me, and that if he wanted to share something, that was wonderful. And if he didn't want to share anything more, that was okay too. So it was really, really, we just honor and love and respect each other's boundaries, and we make it safe. I did come back later and I said, may I ask you a question? And he said, I told you I didn't want to talk about this. And I said, I just have a quick question. And I asked the question, and he answered the question. And that was that. That was the end. So I did ask his permission. I did say, may I ask you one question? And it was a suggestion about something that, if he hadn't done it, maybe this would be a good time to consider doing this one thing that he had been talking about doing. And he was, he said, this is why I haven't done it yet, and I will. And that was the end of that conversation. But he knows that I'm safe. And he has told me things that I think many, many, many women would just get upset about or angry about. And I feel fortunate to know that he would share those kinds of things with me, things about his personal life, his private life, his male world that he has opened up to me about, certain things that he believes, certain ways that he sees other men being that he finds incredibly unattractive. And one day, Benjamin looked at me, and I think, he has given me so many beautiful compliments over the years. But out of the blue, he looked at me and he said, I don't think there's anything I haven't told you. And he said, if I haven't told you, it's not because I wouldn't. It's just because I haven't thought of it yet. If it's something from my past that I haven't remembered, that I would love to tell you, I may, not have remembered some things. But he said, I don't think there's anything I haven't told you or wouldn't tell you. And to have a real man, a grown man, a man who's somebody that I respect and admire more than any man I've ever known, to think that I am the kind of woman that he could open up to at that level is the greatest honor as a woman. It tells me the kind of woman I am, that this beautiful man feels that he can tell me anything. And my husband is a man of integrity. He is a man of principles, and he is a very, very masculine man, intelligent, emotionally intelligent. But the fact that he felt he could do that with me is extraordinary. And it tells me the kind of woman I've become. In fact, I'll tell you a story. I've shared this before, but for me, this was one of the low points in my relationship history. I had a boyfriend, and I used to have this idea that if we could talk about anything, we could reach a consensus. Like there had to be a consensus if you could just talk about it enough. And my boyfriend was literally backing out of the room saying, "Leave me alone. I can't talk about this anymore." So my neediness, my desperation was literally pushing him out the door. And he was backing away. So, how would you do this? How do you create that safe space for a man to open up? Well, first of all, if a man shares with you, most women never feel like it's enough. So we had a woman in our course once, and she kept saying, "I wish this guy would open up to me." And the guy walked her down to her car. And when she was leaving, while they were waiting for the guy to drive the car up, he said to her, "I just wanted you to know that I got really hurt in my last relationship." And that was it. That was all he said. Now, for a man, that is being emotionally naked. A man may share something like that, and that may be all he says. And then the next time you see him, or a few dates later, when you're, cuddled up next to each other and in a safe and intimate moment, he may open up a little more, or you may say, "I would love to hear more about your last relationship if you're open to sharing with me," and then leaving it there. But she was so upset, she said, "Well, that's all he said, and I wish he had said more, and, what do I do with that?" Well, you say, "Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that. And when you're ready, I'd love to hear more about what happened." And that's the end. You respect the fact that men open up slowly and over time. You don't push him, but you do create that soft space for him to land, that soft place. And you encourage him to open up little by little by little. And here's the thing, the more you do this and the more gently, the more gracefully you encourage a man, he will start to open up. It's like little bit and then a little bit more and a little more and a little more. And then one day he'll just be talking to you and sharing his innermost thoughts and feelings. And you won't even have to encourage him. He will just share with you. So even when I turned to my husband the other night and I said, "Babe, are you sure everything's okay?" I said, you seem a little off tonight." And he said, "I'm okay. I just needed to stand up. I was getting uncomfortable sitting for so long." And I could see that, after 20 plus years, almost 22 years, you can tell when your partner's off, but I let it alone. I didn't push him. I figured he would let me know if there was something I needed to know. And sure enough, about an hour later, he came in and he told me what he told me. So you've got to respect a man's boundaries. One thing about men is if they feel pushed or micromanaged, they will actually pull away and shut down if they feel that you are not respecting their boundaries. So if they tell you everything is okay and you keep pushing, you will push them away. So what you would say again is, You just seem off tonight. And if there's nothing you feel like sharing, I understand. I'm here if you do want to talk. Just like that. That is how you become a soft place to land. And then when a man shares with you, just know in the beginning, he may share little tidbits, just very little things, just to see how you respond. And if you push and pry, or if you respect his boundaries, if you say, is there anything more you'd like to share? And if he says no, then you say, well, thank you for sharing that with me. You can also add if you want, when you're ready to share more, I would love to hear it. So you're showing a man that, yes, that you're open to him sharing his truth with you. You will be non-reactive and you respect his boundaries. When you do that, he will sit back and say, wow, no woman has ever responded that way. This woman is different. She's not like other women. She respects me as a man. She understands who I am. She respects my boundaries. When I say, no, there's nothing more I want to share, then she doesn't push or try to get me to share more. She respects my boundaries. And you start to become the kind of woman that he's looking for. What most women don't get is that there are very few women who can respond that way. And this is what men are looking for. They don't want to be pushed. They don't want to be talked into sharing when they don't want to share. They do not want to sit and process. And definitely when you are listening to a man and he is opening up and you're encouraging him to do that, and you start to see him get squeamish or squirmy or whatever, or get a certain look on his face that says, you know what, we're processing and I'm done talking about this. You need to back off. You need to end the conversation. When I see that look on my husband's face, I'm like, oh, okay. I guess we've reached the end. And I just make some kind of gentle joke. Humor is always good. And I say, oh, okay, I guess we're done. Or I guess you've had enough, or we're starting to process. And he'll say, yep, we're done. And then I let it go. I don't take it personally. I don't go, oh my God, you're so stupid. You pushed too far. I see the look and I cut it off and we move on. What would you like to do? Or I'm going to go get some work done or whatever. And I drop it. This is how you create a safe space for a man to land. I'm sure I could share much, 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 much more on this. I don't know. Oh, we have one comment in the chat. Kim. Hi, Kim. It's great to see you. Kim wrote, I'm not graceful. I want to fix everything and rescue them. It's hard to see someone hurting that you have feelings for. Yes, Kim, you make some wonderful points. The problem is that fixing men and rescuing them also has the effect of emasculating them. And that's the last thing you want to do, is be a man or be a mother or a teacher. All of those things are huge, huge turnoffs for men. And it will actually create the opposite effect of what you want. It will cause a man to shut down and pull away. So if you see someone hurting that you have feelings for and you encourage him to open up, the most loving, wonderful thing you can say is, thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry you're going through that. And I have so much respect for you. Men love to hear the R word, respect. I have so much respect for you. And I know that you are going to figure this out because you are such a strong and capable man, and I believe in you. That's what a man wants to hear, not, well, you could do this or you could do that, or have you tried this or have you tried that? No. And if you do make any suggestions, you ask first, may I make a suggestion that you may not have already considered? Usually, when we make suggestions, the guy is sitting there thinking, what does she think? I'm stupid? Like I haven't thought of that? That's what a man thinks. So you would say, you may have already thought of this. And if you have, please forgive me. But there was something that came up for me that I thought it might be useful from my experience when I was in a similar situation that I'd like to share, and you might find it helpful. So be very careful that you're not mothering or teaching or rescuing or being a man. Men like to fix things. So you do not want a man that you are attracted to start to see you in any one of those roles. You don't want them to see you as masculine. You do not want him to see you as his mother or his teacher or a nag. You want him to see you as a girlfriend, or for many of you, as wife material, the kind of woman who can listen respectfully with an open heart and be loving and compassionate and supportive. And when you do that, he will open up and share his heart with you in a way that no man ever has. And you will have a guardian of your soul, somebody who will trust you, lean into you, and who you can lean into as well. So I am Lisa Shield, and I offer a 6-month program called Emotionally Naked Dating. And coming up on February 5th, I have the most exciting masterclass. It is 5 days long. Each day for 5 days, I will be doing a live training, and you don't want to miss this because I am pulling out all the stops. I am sharing the same information I give the women in my course. You will be blown away by how much you learn in just these 5 hours, these 5 days. If you cannot make the time, it's at 12 Eastern time each of those 5 days. Don't worry, because there will be a live replay, and we will send you the replay as well so you can listen at your leisure. So please sign up so that you can get on our list. And it is on February 5th. You will go to lisashield.com/masterclass. And I do believe, uh, just hop over there right now. Just sign up before you forget. And also tell your friends. I am going to put the link in the chat right here so you can just copy it and paste it. But you do not want, oh, Kim, that's so great. I will look for you. I will absolutely look for you. I am just, yep, that's the right link. Okay, I just didn't want to give you the wrong link. So I'm going to post that right now. Hop on over there, sign up, tell your friends, send the link to your friends, let them know that we are doing this. It is going to be awesome. I have been coaching in this field for over 20 years. I don't know if there is a coach who's been doing this longer than me or who does it better than me. So please sign up for the masterclass. I would love to see you there. Do I have any suggestions for someone who has fallen out of love with her husband? She doesn't even want to try. Kim, have her come on the masterclass. Even if she isn't dating and single right now, we have a lot of women who have actually done my program who thought that they were finished with their partners. and who actually realized all the things that they were doing wrong and are now back with their husbands because of the work that they did with us. They were like, oh my God, I was dating, I mean, I was married to the best guy out there. I didn't even know it. And um, yeah, and doing your course made me see that all the things I didn't know I was doing wrong. So have her come. That, you know, some of it she won't relate to, but some of it she really will. All right. I send so much love to all of you, so much light. Please do not give up on love, men, romance, and relationships. Finding a guardian of your soul is the best gift you will ever give to yourself. Having a loving partner to go through life with is the best life of all. It is magical to wake up every morning and fall to sleep every night next to your lover, playmate, and best friend. Take it from me. I thought I was going to grow old alone. Men never paid attention to me. And then I woke up one day and I said, I don't care what other people say. I don't care how bad my experience has been with men. I am going to figure this out. And all that wisdom that I gained along the way is what I'm going to share with you in that 5-day masterclass. So please join me. And thank you for coming on this broadcast. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody, and love to you all.